Hey everyone, Henry here. Welcome back to another developer commentary video. This time we talk about my very first adventure map I made, Underground Science Associates. Again, please note that everything I'll tell you here is just a brief summary of how things went down, and that I'm not gonna go into full detail on everything. So, without further ado, let's get started. Let's jump back to November 2021. I sat at home and played the Portal 2 mod Portal Stories Mel, a super amazing mod created by Prism Studios. I have always loved the Portal series and the games are still one of my favorite games ever. So after that, I knew I wanted to make a Minecraft adventure map with my own characters. As you might have noticed in the map itself, I kept it pretty close to the original. Someone talking to you, you do tests, break out and hunt down the mysterious voice that's talking to you while teaming up with a core named Rusty. Rusty, of course, was inspired by Wheatley, though I changed his personality. What I want to say by this is that I, for myself, didn't write a script because I used the games for reference and some sections and lore came up while building. But before I could start building, I needed one very important thing, a portal gun. As I already said in my Maskman developer commentary video, I like to keep my maps as vanilla as possible with small exceptions. So I wanted a portal gun that was made with only command blocks. I searched on YouTube and found a video from Error422 where he built one with only command blocks. Perfect, I had the portal gun. Now I started building, and to be honest, there weren't really any problems that came while building that occurred. Everything went smoothly, though with the voice lines and the boss fight there were some problems. More on that later. For Rusty, I again went on minecraftheads.com and typed in core and used the space core. There's also a core head where its eye is closed and I could have used that to make Rusty blink, but I didn't know there was a command for that. So Rusty, sadly, does not blink. He blinks when you meet him, but that is a whole block change I did with a structure block. That works, but when Rusty is looking at you, he's an entity, so that wouldn't have worked there. I also built in the iconic Ratman dance from the original Portal games. The pictures I did there were just made by me in Paint. Yeah. Anyway, I knew that I wanted the Ratman to physically appear in the map. Though not in the first one. I already knew I wanted to make two maps because, well, there are two games, so two maps for two games. So I made him appear in map 2, but I will talk more about him in the developer commentary video for the second map. Now let's talk about the boss fight. If you went into spectator mode, you might have seen that the boss fight was supposed to be much bigger than it is now. I built a room and made the attacks with structure blocks. And that was a huge mistake. You see, for a boss fight the animations have to be quick, so it would have to load like one structure per 3 ticks or so. And when you do that with structures this big, the game will lag. And sadly, smart as I am, I built a big section for the boss fight which took much time without testing in between. And when I did, well, I was mad, as you can see here in this book I left. I knew I had to scrap it all. I eventually started with the boss fight, which is now in the final version, and that went without problems. So there was a happy end after all. Or not? I got to recording, exported all voice lines, and put them into the resource pack. But when I played the voice lines in-game, I couldn't hear them on both sides of my headset. That's when I noticed a huge mistake I made. For recording and editing, I use Audacity, and in Audacity you have the option to record either in mono or stereo. If you want to hear your voice on both sides of your headset, you want to record in stereo. But I recorded in mono. So I had to convert every single voice line from mono to stereo. And that fortunately fixed it, but it took so much time. After release of the map, I also changed the bow texture to a portal gun, and I'm kinda mad at myself for not doing so before release, because now there are people who played the map with a bow as a portal gun. Oh man. Yes, the map might not be as good as my others. I was still inexperienced with map making and didn't know commands that would have been a huge help for me. Still, I'm very proud of that map. I just enjoyed building it, and I even gave it a little Easter egg in the Monster Hunter where you can have a conversation with Rusty while 001 sits with him. Last thing I want to talk about is the song at the end which my brother made for me. I gave him the instrumental for Want You Gone and asked him if he could make a song with inspiration to it, and I really like it. He also made the end song for the Monster Hunter, though that was without inspiration to anything. I think it just gives the map a proper finish. If you couldn't tell, that sequence where you go up the elevator was inspired by the Portal 2 ending. And that's a wrap on this developer commentary. I know there wasn't too much interesting stuff to say about this map. There just wasn't much to it behind the scenes. That will change with Underground Science Associates 2 though, because there's a bit more to talk about. That's all folks. See ya!